Hey y'all, it's Ayanna. Welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials at _ringbells on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Y'all, I know I was supposed to have the Girl What's Tea episode 2 up for y'all, but y'all, let me tell y'all, I went to brunch last week, right? Y'all know once you break your seal, it's over with. So I'm in the car driving, and then out of nowhere, I had to pee so bad, y'all. I couldn't even listen to music. I was driving 10 and 2, so focused on not peeing on myself. Y'all, by the time I got home, I'm running up the stairs. I get to the top of the landing. Why I feel my ankle go like this? I had on Uggs. My ankle went like this. It didn't break. It didn't snap. But I felt it. You know how like you just feel like you twisted your ankle. It hurts. But my adrenaline was so high because I had to pee that I didn't even care. So I get to the bathroom. I pee. I'm like, whoo. Now my ankle felt a little off, but I ain't pay no mind to it. I lay down. I go to sleep. Y'all know how it would be after brunch. So I wake up like 2-3 hours later. I'm like, okay, let me get up, y'all. I hop out the bed. Why is my ankle swollen? I could barely walk on it, y'all. I forced myself to go to work on Monday. I was just not in the mood. I gotta still go get x-rays. Like, I had to keep it elevated, wrapped. So yeah, my bad. But I should have that up for y'all like sometime this weekend or whatever, because we did get an update from girl number 2 with the, what is it, the baby dad and his wife and that whole situation. Yeah, if you haven't watched it, go back and watch episode 1 before we even post episode 2. But yeah, y'all, and then another update. Y'all remember, obviously, Jordan and Delilah. Why, y'all, I was searching, that y'all know that little database? Okay, I'm going too fast. Y'all remember back during COVID when people was doing those SBA and like PPP loans? Y'all, why did I find Jordan on there? And now, y'all, I knew he had did it, but he had did this before me. But it was just like crazy to really search his name up, and he was on there. And Delilah, if you so worried about giving him money, girl, you better be putting money away for his books, because they're coming to lock him up. Did y'all hear about them task force and stuff that they got coming after people? Couldn't be me, but yeah, I just wanted to give y'all that little update, because y'all know I be doing my little investigation work. But yeah, y'all, without further ado, as you can tell by the title, this is a story time about the time Shorty ruined our entire night. She ruined the plans. It was literally like a series of unfortunate events back to back to back. But yeah, y'all, let's jump right in. All right, y'all, so you already know, gotta give y'all the background, gotta set the scene, right? All right, y'all, so story takes place, I was maybe like, and my bad if I'm talking fast, my adrenaline is a little up. I got a lot on my mind, a lot on my plate, and a lot more to do tonight alone. So yeah, bear with me. But yeah, y'all, the story takes place, I was like newly, I don't want to say newly, I was around 21, 22, and I was around, these were my going out years. Like my outside years were more so like between 18 and a cool 25. So yeah, I was like in the mix. It didn't matter if it was winter, summer, spring, fall, I was outside. And y'all remember Letty. If y'all don't, y'all gotta go back and watch my videos so y'all can find out who Letty is. But Letty and I, obviously, we've been friends since we were like 13, 14, going into high school. Now at the time, Letty, remember I told y'all she lived in Rosewood. I no longer lived in the town that I went to high school in. I had moved the town over to Rosewood, and now me and her lived only like 7 minutes away from each other. Okay, so back then, right, during this time, Letty was dating this girl, and we'll name her Dom. Yeah, we'll name her Dom, like short for Dominique, like Dominic Toretto. We'll just name her Dom. So they was together for a good portion of time, to the point where me and Dom even became really cool, really close. To this day, me and her are still really good friends. My bad, y'all. So yeah, to this day, me and Dom are still cool. So back then they were together, and I became cool with them, to the point where it was almost like a third wheel, but not really, because they were both girls. So they never really did the lovey-dovey PDA type of stuff. They never made me feel awkward or nothing like that. It usually was just like us hanging out as friends. And they had obviously other friends and stuff, and nobody ever felt like, you know, nobody ever felt like an outcast or anything like that. So y'all know how like you can have a friend group or a friend, and then they introduce you to their other friends. Yeah. So Letty had introduced me to this girl, and it honestly was one day where she had dropped Dom off at work. She wanted to pull up on me so we could smoke trees, and she had this girl in the car, and we'll name her Wanda. Now, y'all, my first impression of Wanda was like, she's very small, like very skinny. Like, I ain't little, I ain't like super small, but I ain't like super big either. Like, she was tiny, like a cool 110, 105 maybe. Yeah, a buck 05. And probably like a good 5'2", 5'3", 5'4", somewhere around there. Anything, like I said, I'm 4'11", y'all. So anything taller than that is tall to me. So yeah, I want to say she was like maybe 5'4" and really tiny. And y'all, she always looked smoked out. Like to this day, y'all, she still looks smoked out from what she was doing way back when. Now, at the time, me and Letty, we were both like around 21, 22. Dom was older, so she was maybe like around 24, 25. And then Wanda also was around 24, 25. I don't really know how Dom and Letty knew Wanda. I didn't. I guess I should have asked Letty like what the backstory was on how they met each other, but it's not really important. But yeah, so she pulls up on me and Wanda's in the front seat, and you know, she was cool. I didn't get any bad vibes off her. She was cool. Now, I knew that prior to meeting Wanda, Letty used to tell me like certain stories about Wanda. I'm not going to get into there. Just keep that in mind, that she would tell me certain stories about Wanda, because I got other stories about Wanda. But first impressions, she was cool, she was fine, and that's how me and her kind of met. We used to go to parties together, not just me and Wanda, but all of us. New Year's parties, bars, clubs, hotel parties. She was a part of their friend group, so they was cool with her, I was cool with her. It is what it is. Now, fast forward, y'all. I think I want to say I met her in the summertime, so now you fast forward to like fall, winter time, right? And this particular day, Letty hits me up and she's like, oh girl, what you doing this weekend? And it was a Friday, and she asked me if I was working or if I had something to do on that Saturday. So I'm like, no, not that I know of. I don't really think I got any plans. So she was like, well, Dom wants to go to the city. You down? And obviously, y'all, the city is New York. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care. That's fine. So I was like, it's just us. And she was like, yeah, it'll just be us three. And she was like, why? You want to invite somebody? I was like, no, I'm just asking because you know who I want to be there. So she was like, no, it's just going to be us. So I'm like, okay, cool. So she's like, well, Dom got to go to work in the morning. So she was like, I was going to drop her off, and then me and you could wake and bake. And, you know, I'll pull up, we could smoke, we could chill. And then I'll probably drop you back off before, you know, we head home to get ready. So I was like, okay, cool. And at the time, her and Dom lived with Letty's grandmother. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. So fast forward, y'all. Next day comes. Letty pulls up on me. We smoke, we chilling, we pull back up, and like we smoke right there, and then we go back to her grandmother's house and we chilling. We go to the store, we get snacks, we watching shows and stuff on her iPad. We was just kicking it. Those were the days. Now I'm I was an adult back then, but I didn't have anywhere near as much responsibilities back then as I do now. So we chilling. So I'm like, okay, so she's like, what you gonna wear tonight? I'm like, girl, it's cold. What you mean, what am I gonna wear tonight? Yo, I think I had wore like a denim shirt, some leggings, some boots. And I don't even know what else I wore over that. Maybe, I don't even remember. So she was like, okay, cool. So fast forward, y'all. We get through the rest of the midday morning. She drops me off like back around like 3 o'clock. She goes, picks up Dom, and they head home. So she FaceTimes me when she's about to get in the shower. So we talking. So she was like, oh, you sure you ain't want to invite nobody else? I'm like, well, why? Like, me and you and Dom always hang out by ourselves. I was like, do you want me to invite somebody? Like, if you want me to, I'll find somebody to invite. And she was like, no, I was just asking. I'm like, girl, okay. So I'm like, no, I don't got nobody. So she was like, okay, fine. I'm like, if you want to invite somebody else, you know, go ahead. So she was just like, no, I was just asking. So I'm like, okay. She's like, but I should be there to pick you up around 7. So I'm like, okay, cool, but like, what's the plan? So she's like, well, I'm gonna pick you up around 7, and then we'll head to she was like, I think Dom had already went. Now y'all, yeah, I think Dom had already went to the liquor store for us. So I was like, okay, cool. So she was like, we're gonna pick you up, and then we're just gonna hit the road, head to Newark, park the car, we're gonna get on the train to head to Times Square. So I was like, okay, cool. It's a plan. Get off the phone with her. I go through the rest of my night. I had to wash my wig, curl it, do that whole, y'all know, the little one too. So fast forward, now it's like 6:45, 7. So she calls me. She's, I'm outside. I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, I come outside. In the car, Dom hands me a rolled, I don't even know, we gotta name it something, y'all, because I am a smoker, so I don't know what we're gonna name it on this channel yet. Make some suggestions, comment down below what I can name it, so that way I'm not saying the actual word. I'll just say L. We'll just say L. So she had passed me the L, and it was already, you know, smoke. So that's what we was doing, laughing, talking. And she already had a bottle. I forgot what she had a bottle of. I want to say it was a bottle of Henny. Yeah. So me and her taking shots. Obviously, Letty had already took her shots, but she wasn't gonna be able to take shots while we was driving. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we sitting in my parking lot. So she's like, oh girl, we invited Wanda. And I'm like, y'all invited her? She's like, well, we didn't necessarily invite her. So Dom was like, we didn't invite her now. Like, don't sit there and say we did anything. So I'm like, well, what happened? She was like, well, she hit me up. And this is Letty. She said, oh, well, she hit me up and said that, you know, asked me what I was doing tonight. So I told her, you know, us two and you were going to the city. And she wanted to know if we was going to come, like if she could come, because she wanted us to come back over later on, because she had invited all of us to just come over there, kick it, play cards, you know, smoke, drink, and have a good time at her house. And y'all, I had been to Wanda's house before. It was always just like a vibe. It was just like a chill vibe, nothing too crazy. We would order food, chill. Those were the days. So I was like, oh, okay. But I was still peeping Dom's energy. So I'm like, Dom, what's wrong? And she was like, no, you know how Wanda is. You know how Wanda is. Like, she just do too much sometimes. Like, she just do too much. And I'm like, yeah, but I had never been around Wanda, y'all, at this point where she did too much. So she was like, I don't know, like, but if Letty want her to go, she was like, well, y'all don't want her to go, then she don't gotta go. We like, girl, it's fine. You already told her if she thinks we on our way, we might as well just go get her. So she was like, okay, cool. So we get in the car, and Wanda was on the way to Newark. So we pull up on her. She get in the car. She has a bottle of Henny. I do not know, y'all, why we were such heavy Henny drinkers back then. I would not touch anything Henny related today. Today, I would never. But yeah, so she got in a bottle. She gets in the car. She has her own bottle of Henny. So she's like, y'all want a shot? Y'all want a shot? So we still had the bottle of Dom. So she was like, nah, like, let's finish this first. So the three of us, we start drinking. So Letty's like, let me hurry up and get there so I can take mine before we hop on the train. So we're like, okay, cool. So we in the car, we playing music and stuff. And you know how, like, Letty was the type that, well, me, Letty, and Dom, when we would be together, y'all know how, like, you ever be in a car with somebody and you want to listen to music, but they want to talk? That's how Wanda was. And I don't necessarily want to say, like, I ever peeped it before. Like, certain things I never peeped. Like, I was a little bit lit, but I don't know. I didn't really peep what she used to do before. So Letty would turn the music up, right? And Wanda would be like, oh, go, turn that down. And obviously, she's in the backseat with me. She'd be like, girl, turn that down. So Letty's like, yeah, Wanda. She was like, did y'all see da-da-da? And it would be some, like, drama from Instagram or whatever. And then Dom would, like, hurry up and rush the conversation through. Like, she was like, yeah, we saw that. Or, yeah, girl, I don't know. They be, doing too much, but... And then slowly creep the music back up. She was like, yeah, because I think it's crazy to the point where sometimes Letty would just be like, girl, and just turn it up and try to just drown her out. But, like, yo, she would be yelling over the music. But again, she not my friend like that. Like, we were cool, but she wasn't my friend for me to be, snapping on her. So she was literally doing that the entire ride to Newark. And about a cool, the way Letty used to drive, it was probably like a good 30 minutes. Naturally, normal people would be like 45 minute ride. So I'm like, okay, cool. Now, as we're in the car, we probably like 10 minutes away from Penn Station, and I get a text from, do he need a name? I don't really think he need no name, because I probably don't have no other story times about him, really, for real. But he'll just be, my little boo for the night. That's just what we'll name him, my boo. So my boo had texted me, and y'all know how it was when you got like a eggplant appointment back then. Yeah, so he was my little friends with benefits, I would call it. So he was like, what you doing tonight? And I'm like, oh, I'm actually, I'm about to get, on a train to head to New York with Letty, Dom, and a friend Wanda. He knew who Letty and Dom were. So he was like, okay, cool, what time y'all getting back? I'm like, well, I don't know, we're just not about to go. So he was like, oh, that's crazy. And I'm like, why? He was like, well, I was gonna come get you so we could link, and, like, I was gonna take you out to eat. I'm like, how you hit me up now? He's like, I mean, it's literally only 8 o'clock. Like, I ain't think you was gonna be busy. I'm like, well, I'm always outside, so I don't know why you didn't think I was gonna be busy. So he was just like, okay, well, let me know, when you getting back or whatever, and I'm gonna still pull up, even if it's real late. And I'm like, what's real late? He was like, even if it's like 1, 2, 3 in the morning, like, I'm gonna still come get you. So I'm like, okay, bet. So that was my little situation. So now y'all know what my plans were. So we get to Penn Station, we in the car. So now we all just killing the bottle. At this point, we had pretty much finished Dom's bottle, and now we were killing Wanda's bottle. Now we in the car. Now Wanda, I'm looking over at her, y'all. She just looks so like, and I don't laugh at me, but y'all, she just look like, and y'all know how, like, you can tell when a person is high off of trees and high off of something else, and I never really used to know for a fact what Wanda did, but I honestly want to say it was tic-tac popping. And I'm using a lot of cold words, so y'all got to keep up. She did a lot of tic-tac popping. So I'm just like, maybe you shouldn't be drinking. But so she was smoking, she was drinking, and tic-tac popping. It was just a lot. And I kind of see what Dawn meant with the whole, she used to just do too much. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So we all sitting there getting lit. We get out the car, and now we're heading into, Penn Station so we could, boom, get on the track and head to New York. So boom, y'all, fast forward, we on the train now. We chilling, we laughing, we talking and everything. So, Wanda's like, where are we going? Like, what y'all want to do? Like, we just going to New York. Y'all ain't even got no plans. I'm like, yeah, let's go get something to eat. So Letty was like, ooh, y'all, let's go to BBQs. So if y'all know, y'all know. it's like a restaurant. Is what is it called, y'all? Because I'm trying to think what Dallas BBQs I think it's called. So yeah, so she was like, let's go there. So I'm like, okay, cool. Their drinks are bomb. Their little fishbowl drinks are like this big. I'm gonna insert a picture, video, whatever. But yeah, love that place. So we like, okay, that's the plan. We're gonna go there. And I don't really remember exactly what the plan was after there. Maybe just walk around, go to some stores, you know, stuff like that. So we get out there. Now we get off the train or whatever, and now we head into the restaurant. It's a line. Now, if you've been to BBQs before, they be having lines, but like it's not like a wait list. It's more so like get in line, and if we got availability, we'll let you in. But usually it depends on how big your party size is. So like usually me and my boyfriend go, we get to just skip because it's just two of us. So we're taking up a little sliver of space. If you got like 7, 8 of y'all gonna be waiting for a little while. We was waiting for like maybe like 10, 15 minutes. So we get inside. They go up the escalator. They sit this at our table. Now we chilling. We vibing. So Wanda's like, oh, well, what are y'all doing? You know, after this, what y'all doing? You know, later on when we get back. So Dom and Letty like, oh, we don't got no plans. You know, what you trying to do? So she was like, oh, I was thinking about y'all coming over. We could just, you know, play cards. We could chill, smoke, drink, you know, kick it. And y'all, we used to do that often. Like I said, just good vibes. So I was like, oh girl, well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go because, you know, my little boo, he hit me up on the way here and I think I'm gonna go, you know, slide on him. So she just looked at me, y'all, like, I don't know what it was, but like, she just looked at me like, she's like, what you mean? So I'm like, what you mean what I mean? Now, mind you, me and her are sitting next to each other and Letty and Dom are sitting next to each other. So she was just like, what you mean? And I was like, what you mean what I mean? And she was like, you just gonna pass up hanging out with your friends so you could go see, so you could go see a nigga. And I'm like, why do you care? We're not friends like that. You are an acquaintance to them. So I'm like, yeah. Straight like that, yeah. So Letty started laughing and Letty was like, oh, Wanda, don't even worry about her. She was like, because one thing about Ayanna, she's, listen, y'all, listen, I ain't going to even say too much. But yeah, my friends used to honestly call me like Slide because if my man, my boo, my yeah, my whatever y'all want to call it was hitting me up to link, see y'all later. Catch y'all on the flip. Because my thing is this, it's a difference between us sitting here at a restaurant and I'm like, okay y'all, I'm gonna see y'all later, I'm gonna go hop on the train and get back so that way I could go hang out with him, or we in the middle of the club and I'm like, okay, bye y'all, my man outside. I don't do that. My thing is, he asked me what I was doing after the event, after the event, you get what I'm saying? So if we linking and you talking about what y'all doing when we get back, so that means when we get back, it's either go home or go somewhere else. At that point, that means you're setting up new plans. So if my plans are already right there, why would I then go? Y'all get what I'm saying, right? So, my bad. So, y'all get what I'm saying. So, she was just like, you know, a little standoffish at that point. She was just like, oh, yeah, I mean, I guess. But, like, just moving in slow motion, like a sloth. Like, yeah, I mean, I guess. Just too late. A little embarrassing. Not my business. So, our food comes. Y'all, we having a good time. We taking pictures. You know, we recording. Literally having a good time. Everything was cool, y'all. Like, no series of bad events yet. Nothing was wrong yet. So, at this point, Letty was like, oh, girl, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, yeah, me too. Because y'all know, like I said, once you break that seal, I gotta pee. So we head to the bathroom and, you know, we inside or whatever. So naturally, Letty's like, yo, Wanda getting on my nerves. And I'm like, she ain't even do nothing. And she was like, no, because she was like, why is she in your business? She was like, you know what I mean? She was like, and honestly, you know, depending on how I feel when we get back, I'm probably just going to go home. She was like, you know, maybe depending on what Dom says, she's like, because if you're not going to go, I don't think, you know, we're going to pull up on, you know, to go to her house. I'm like, yeah, but y'all got to drop her off anyway. And she was like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if I got to drop her off, I gotta drop you off, and you live by me, so I don't know if I'm even trying to do that for real. So I'm like, well, it depends. Like, we'll see when we get back. Maybe we could go over there, chill for a little bit. I'll hit him up when we get back close, and then, you know, see what he's talking about. We can link with her for a little bit, maybe an hour to hour and a half, head back, and then we'll try to fit everything in. So I was like, you know, because y'all, I don't like to be the party pooper friend, because if they did want to go over there, I get what she's saying. You literally have to drive past her to drop me off, to then drive back, and then I get it. So she was like, I don't know. And she was like, low key, she was embarrassing me. She was like, literally, when we go back out there, she was like, literally look at the table next to us. She said, they're literally staring at her. And I was like, they are. But y'all, mind you, I'm telling y'all this sober. We were not sober. We were lit. But y'all know how it be. You just lit off of drinks and trees. Wanda was not lit off of just that. She was looking in slow motion. She was like, I'm telling you, like, when we get outside, she was like, literally, so she shows me her phone while Dom had texted her while we were sitting at the table, like, yo, look at these people sitting, like next to us at the table and look how they're looking at Wanda like this shit is mad embarrassing. So I was like, I didn't even know. Like, I noticed, but like I said, y'all, I didn't notice. So we come out the bathroom, we sit back down, and y'all know how you try to play it off. So I'm like I'm trying to glance over at the table, and sure enough, they like you can tell that they were looking. Y'all, she wasn't nodding at the table, but she sure enough was like, her food in front of her, she was like eating the chicken wings, like. And how y'all know how it be when you lit and you know you drinking, but we weren't lit. Y'all know how it be at the end of the night. You in the bed, you got your leftover food, and now you like, oh, let me knock it, enjoy it. And you sitting there eating it, enjoying it. We in the middle of the restaurant, and we're lit, and it's a different. It's just a different vibe, y'all. So it was embarrassing. So at this point, Dom was like, yo, Wanda. And she was like, yeah, girl, what's wrong? She was like, what's wrong with you? She was like, you need to go to the bathroom. And she was like, no, why do I need to go to the bathroom? She was like, because you acting a little off. And she was like, what you mean I'm acting off? What you mean I'm acting off? She was like, you're acting a little peculiar, a little unusual. And she was like, oh, girl, you know, my bad. Y'all know I popped a Tic Tac. Now, I can't tell y'all exactly what it was, but she popped a Tic Tac. So Dom was looking at her like, why would you do that when you knew that you was already drinking? You knew you was going to be out. Like, you going to do that. You need to be, like, around the way. She was like, well, I didn't know that y'all wanted to come here. Like, I thought we was just going to be walking around. Girl, that's worse. It's cold outside. You want us to just be walking around for hours? So she was like, oh, well, like, my bad. Yeah, let me head up and go to the bathroom. So she gets up. Y'all, she was like, where the bathroom at again? It was just, like, too much. It was giving Holiday Heart. Is that the... It was giving Holiday Heart. Y'all, that's what it was giving. So Dom actually got up with her because she was like, you know what, I'm gonna just go with her to the bathroom, y'all. So we looking at each other. So why Letty gonna look to them at the table was like, my bad, y'all, my bad. So they was like, oh girl, we just making sure, you know, she cool, and you know, y'all cool, y'all look okay. So we just making sure, you know, she was alright. But y'all, it was embarrassing at that point. So Letty was like, yeah, my bad. So we just laughing, we talking or whatever. So she's like, oh, so she's like, text him now and see, you know, what time he was planning on linking you. So I'm like, and y'all, my bad. I keep looking over there because it looked like, you know, y'all know how something be looking like a bug. I just be having to make sure it's not a spider because I don't got time. So yeah, so it was just embarrassing. So they come back from the bathroom. We eating our food. We getting turned. She had this big old drink. She could barely finish it. At this point, she was at the table like just like this. To the point where Dom was like, I just want to leave. Like, if she needs some air, let's just walk around or whatever. It's like, okay. So we get our food. We pack it up or whatever. Y'all, as we're walking out, right, Letty and I was like, okay, we're going to go to the bathroom one more time. So Dom was like, okay, cool. She's like, I really don't got to go. Like, I'm cool. So she asked Wanda. She was like, Wanda, do you need to go to the bathroom? She's like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm cool. Like, I can hold it. So she was like, no, if you have to go, like, don't hold anything. If you have to go to the bathroom, go to the bathroom. She was like, no. Like, I'm good, girl. I'm good. Like, start getting mad. So she's like, I'm good. So leave her alone, Dom. So me and Letty, we go to the bathroom. Boom, we come out, got our bags, and we head down a little escalator, and we outside now. So at this point, we outside. Wanda like perks up because now it's cold. So she perks up and she's like, okay, like, where we going now? So y'all, I don't really remember what we did. I think we literally walked around for like a little bit, but it was cold, y'all. So we was like, let's just leave, like, because at this point we're not really doing nothing. I got an appointment. Y'all still want to link over there with her. I don't know if y'all really want to link over there with her based on how she acting. So that's up to y'all. So we start making our way back to the train station, and now we waiting. We down on the platform, y'all, right? On our phones, chilling. And she's linked up, like, Wanda is linked up against the post, like y'all, just linked up against the post. So Dom is like, yo, Wanda. Like, she was just over it. She was like, Wanda. She was like, girl, what do you keep calling my name for? What is your problem? She was like, you're mad embarrassing. Like, you're doing too much. So she was just like, well, I'm fine. So train pulls up. We get on the train. It wasn't that many people on the train, right? We get on the train. Y'all know how it goes. The seats across, seats this way, right? So me and Letty are sitting next to each other, and then Dom is on the other side. So she's like in the middle. And then across from us, you had Wanda was sitting like, y'all know, like, by the door. You know how you got the railing by the door? So she's sitting right in that seat. And the guy was sitting, like, the next seat over from her. Empty seat. And then he was sitting here. So we sitting on the train. Y'all know, again, it takes, what, like, 20-ish minutes or so. 20-minute-ish ride, 30-minute-ish. I don't even remember how long. Y'all gotta, if you're from Jersey, New York, comment down below and let me know exactly how long that ride is. So if I'm not mistaken, don't you gotta go to Journal Square? If you gotta take the train from Journal Square back to Penn Station. I haven't done the train to New York in a very long time, so my bad if I don't really remember. So we on the train, right? And out of nowhere, Wanda wakes up. And she's like, I gotta pee. I gotta pee. Y'all, we have not even made it to, if I'm not mistaken, it's 2 trains. I think we gotta make it to Journal Square. So we haven't even made it to Journal Square yet. So she was like, I gotta pee. So Dom is like, girl, you should have been pee. So we're not thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking like, people be saying they gotta pee, but it's not that serious. She was like, no, I gotta pee. She was like, I told you to go to the bathroom. When we were still at BBQ's. Why didn't you go to the bathroom? She said, because I didn't have to go then. Like a freaking 5-year-old. I didn't have to go to the bathroom then. Y'all, we sitting there. Letty is like irritated. So when Letty, like, I know her. So when she start getting mad, her leg be shaking. Like, she just be getting mad. So Dom was the one snapping. Now, y'all, Letty is the real crash out. Even to this day, Letty is the true crash out. So when she starts snapping, she doesn't go from 0 to 50 to 100. She goes from 0 to 500. Lightning speed quick. I promise y'all. So I knew that she was getting irritated. Like, I'm leaning on her. Because I was like leaning on her like this because I'm lit. I can just feel my head like this because she was shaking. So I get up. And she was like, yo, Wanda, like, shut up. Like, shut up. We'll be back soon. Like, she was like, we'll be back. And when we get to the platform at Journal Square, she said, go behind a podium or whatever. I keep saying podium. The pillar, the column or whatever. She was like, pee if it's that serious. Because obviously there's no bathroom from here until we literally get back to North. We don't know what to tell you. Y'all know when I give y'all this look, what that means, right? Comment down below if y'all can guess what happened. Y'all, this girl pees on herself. Yep, peed on herself. So sitting there, like, y'all know, insane, like, I really gotta pee. And it's like, what did you want us to do? It's not like we had a cup. It's like, what did you want us to do? You want to pee in my purse? Like, what did you want to do? So she's like, I gotta pee. Like, she's moving and wiggling and stuff. Next thing you know, y'all, you just see the seat just liquid, just all on the seat, on the floor, to the point where the guy, I guess, looked down and he was like, oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, what is that? He jumped up and like grabbed his stuff and like went to the other side of the train. Y'all know people just be minding their business. So he got up and he moved to the other side of the train. So Tom was like, Wanda, are you serious? She's like, what do you want me to do? I had to pee. So she's just peeing on the train, on the floor, all on the seat. And y'all know it's hard, like hard plastic. So it's just dripping off. Like, and I'm not trying to make it sound nasty to y'all, but y'all really got to understand how she was just peeing freely. She felt better, I guess. So she was like, well, it is what it is. Like, I had to go. So she's now taking off. Like, she had on like a cardigan flannel type. So she took it off and like tied it like around her, because now you had the wet thing. Because I think she had on leggings. So now she had like the wet spot. So she had to like tie the flannel around her, and like she moved the seat over. It was so embarrassing, y'all. Like, it was just because it was embarrassing. And like I said, it wasn't that many people on the train, but it was still people on the train that's looking down at us like. And y'all, we're still drunk. Like, and now I'm even more drunk because we killed basically 2 bottles of Henny in a matter of, what, 50 minutes, and smoked. And then got to BBQ's and then had, like, these big old fishbowl drinks. Like, girl. Like, I get it. I be having to pee too, but that was OD. So she's just like, well, I had to pee. I don't know what y'all want me to do. At this point, Letty was just like on crash out mode. Like, she was on crash out mode. So we finally make it to Journal Square. At this point, it was like nothing. There was nothing that we could really do at this point. We made it to Journal Square, got on the train. Nothing really eventful there. We get back on the obviously the train to get back to Penn Station. So it's silent now. Like, nobody's saying anything. I'm on my phone texting my boo. I'm like, let me tell you how. Like, I'm going off. But again, it's not my friend. Like, obviously I'm embarrassed I'm with her, but it was like, damn, like, that's really y'all friend that y'all should have never invited anyway. And now now I see exactly what she was. She's like, she just does too much. Like, she just does too much. So while we sitting there, we on a train heading back to Penn Station, and Dom's texts me and Letty in a group chat. Actually, we already had our own, the 3 of us already had our own group chat. She texted us in the group chat, and she was like, I'm telling y'all, it's her popping them Tic Tacs. That's what made it happen. I'm like, yeah, but, it could just be, us drinking. She was like, she didn't even really drink nothing at the restaurant, though. Like, she literally left more than half of her fishbowl there because she was too lit to really drink it. And you just let your bladder just go. So I'm like, well, it is what it is. You know, we here now. I'm always trying to be the voice of reason, because I knew, again, Letty was on crash out mode. Like, she was just silent. You just saw, like, death in her eyes, to be honest with y'all. We get back to Penn Station. Now we make our way outside to get back to go towards Letty's car. Y'all, we go back to go towards Letty's car. And immediately Letty was like, girl, you need to figure something out. She's like, you're not getting in my car. You're mad pissy. You're mad pissy. She's like, you're not getting in my car. You're not getting in my back seat. Nobody's about to be smelling piss the whole way home. So she's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, what do you want me to do? She's like, well, I don't know. You better go inside Penn Station and buy you a pair of leggings or something. At this point, y'all, it probably was what, like a cool 10 o'clock at night. So she's like, you better go buy you a pair of leggings. You better go do something. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You better go in the bathroom and take them off and put them under the dryer. She's like, well, I don't have anything else to put on. Like, what do you want me to do? So Dom is like, y'all, I'm like, can you unlock the door? So she unlocked the door so I could get in. And then Dom got in and she was in the front seat. So Letty and her are outside arguing back and forth. And then now Wanda started getting more hype. So she was like, girl, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. Like, it already happened. Like, I'm cool now. Like, I got the flannel on over me. And I know some of y'all probably like, exactly, like, she got the flannel on and she's just going to sit on a seat on the flannel. Letty didn't care. She was already irritated that you peed on yourself and she couldn't snap on you the way she wanted to while we were out in public, I guess. So they going back and forth. Now, mind you, I was sitting in the back seat behind Dom and she was in the passenger seat. Obviously, Letty's driving, and then Wanda was sitting next to me behind Letty. So they're on their side outside the car arguing back and forth. Y'all, all I remember is Wanda getting in Letty's face. Girl, you're doing too much. Y'all know we like to talk with our hands. Oh, you're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Letty does not like that. You're not about to do all of this in her face because she feels like it's a threat. She feels like it's like a sign of something. Y'all, all I remember Letty doing is mushing her. Now, mind you, Letty is thick. Letty is thicker than me, a little bit more husky, and she's taller. She's probably like the same height as Wanda. So she mushed her, but when she mushed her hard, and y'all know Wanda, her balance ain't all the way there anyway, so she stumbled back. So Dom was like, oh boy, let me get out the car. By the time she get out the car, all I remember is Letty running down on her, throwing her up against the car, like literally like about to start swinging on her. So she throws her up against the car. They going back and forth. Dom grabs her, pulls her apart. So I get out the car, and Wanda's like, see, you're doing too much. So she was like, I'm getting in the car. So she gets in the car. Like, Wanda literally got in the car next, like, well, in the passenger seat. And I'm saying the passenger seat, y'all. I'm getting too hype. Y'all know how I get. So she gets in the back seat behind Letty, and she was like, I'm getting in the car. So Letty was pissed. Like, she was going off. She's like, get out of my car. So Dom was just trying to calm her down. She was like, baby, like, just get in the car. Like, it's not that deep. Like, we're going to drop her off, and we'll just go from there. So Letty gets in the car, and she was like, don't say nothing to me. She was like, do not say nothing. She was like, we're going to listen to music the whole way home. She was like, don't say nothing. Just shut up. So in the backseat, Wanda's like, she was not saying nothing, y'all. She was silent. So the car, we turned the music up. We singing, rapping the whole way home, the three of us. We pull up, and so I'm texting my boo. So I'm like, you know, he's like, what time you gonna be home? I was like, so at this point, y'all, was probably like a cool like 10:30-ish by the time we was making our way back. So I'm like, I'll probably be home like a cool 11 o'clock. So I want us to go in, you know, spruce up and everything. And I was like, you know, you could probably come get me around like 11:30, 12. So he was like, all right, cool. So we head back and we pull up to Wanda's crib. So Letty was like, get out. She was like, y'all really don't want to come in and smoke? Y'all really don't want to come in and drink and, you know, have a good time? I was like, nah, girl. Like, she was like, no. She was like, Ayanna, don't say nothing to her. Get out of my car before I beat you up. Like, get out of my car. So Wanda opens the door up, y'all, like, walking like this. Whole time, she was like, where my food at? Because all of us had food to go. So she said, where my food at? I didn't even eat all my food. So we like looking around. She was like, Ayanna, get her food. I'm like, there's no bags back here. Like, I had my food. Dom had her and Letty's food in the same bag in front. So I'm like, there's no other bag back here. She's like, oh my God. So I want to start crashing out. She's like, oh my God, where's my food? So Letty started getting mad, and so Dom started laughing. Dom was like, your ass probably left it on the train when you was peeing, or who knows, you probably left your bag at the restaurant. So she was like, if y'all knew I wasn't all the way there, why would y'all let me leave my bag? And let you do what, girl? You're grown. I have my own thoughts and self to worry about. Like, you're doing too much. So I'm like, well, girl, you left it. And she was like, well, somebody got to pay me back the money that. So I was like, girl, pay you back what? Like, you messed up. You left your food. Nobody's about to pay you back anything. So Letty was like, Wanda, get out of my car. Because she had the door open, y'all. Like, she had the door just open, but she was outside the car, just, like, looking in the car. She was like, get out of my car and close the door before I get out and beat your ass. She was like, Dom saved you. She was like, I will get out and beat your ass. And Dom was like, yeah, Wanda, I'm not going to save you this time. Like, she's like, you know what? It's cool. It's cool. So she slams Letty's door. Letty got out that car so fast. So then Wanda started speed walking up her driveway. She was like, yeah, just go. You're doing too much. So she's like, okay, whatever. So we pull off, y'all, and we end up pulling into like this high school lot or whatever. Obviously, there's nobody there. So we pull into this high school lot. We laugh and we talking. So Dom was like, I'm about to roll up because we need it. Like, this is too much. I'm about to roll up. So we're like, okay, cool. So I'm still texting my little boo. Texting him. And he's like, yeah, let me know when you're ready. Da-da-da. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I said, I should be good around 11:30, 12. And I keep saying that, y'all, because it's not over yet. So we pull up, Dom rolls up, and we smoking. We literally just sit there and smoke. And did Letty have tents? I want to say she did have tents. I'm not really mistaken, but I keep saying I'm not really mistaken. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember, but I do think she had tents. So we sitting over there in a tuck, you know, and we smoking. Now, usually, y'all, anytime I'll be over there with them smoking, if we're smoking at her grandmother's house, we would sit in the car, but we would ride around the block before it was time for her to drop me off. We would ride around the block, spray the car down, everything, just in case, right? Sitting in the car, we smoking. At this point, Letty was like, Yana, I'm about to just get you home. She's like, I'm so irritated. I just want to go in the house, take a shower, and just lay down. She was like, that girl, I don't know. She's like, we're never linking her again, which wasn't true. We definitely ended up linking her again, and that was not the last time Wanda did some craziness. So I was like, yeah, girl, like, you know, what's cool? She was like, you know, was he rushing you? I was like, no, I told him like 11:30, you know, 12. So at this point, it was like a cool, like 11 o'clock, 11:45-ish. So I'm texting him. I was like, yeah, you know, I'm about to be home, so you can still aim. Like, I was like, we can aim for like 12:30. So he was like, okay, cool. So y'all, we did not spray the car down. Obviously, we were hotboxing because it's cold outside. So we rolled the window down a little bit, cracked the windows, and we start making our way home. Y'all, make our way home. And like I said, I'm like 7 minutes away from her. So we have to pass, like where we had to get off 22, we basically had to pass her house so we can drive the little extra an extra mile to get to my house. So y'all, we driving. There's nobody really outside, just the three of us. We get in the car. We're in the car, we're driving. We cross these train tracks, y'all. Why? As soon as we cross these train tracks, whoop, 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 lights. So we looking. So I'm like, is that for us? So we turn around, and Dom is like, oh my God. Now, mind y'all, I had an 8th in my purse. Now, the type of purse I had, if y'all know, let me know in the comments if y'all know who Betsy Johnson is. I used to love her stuff, and I used to love her purses, makeup bags, her duffel bags, all of that good stuff. So I had, like, the way my purse was, y'all, right? Y'all know how regular purses, y'all know how our purses have like the little pocket pieces, like the little cloth pockets in there. So I had my little 8th in that pocket, but I remember it was like a little bit of a hole in that little pocket. So I had it down in there. So Dom is like, oh my God. So we had finished pretty much smoking the rest of her trees. I was the only one that had trees on me. They was just going to get trees from whoever they was going to get it from, I guess, after they dropped me off. So she was like, oh my God. So I'm like trying to feel around in my bag for it because we were getting pulled over. So Letty pulls over. She was like, oh my God, I don't have time for this. Now, mind you, we had like roaches and stuff in the ashtray, but I was just like, mind y'all, let me really set the scene for y'all. Here's the train tracks. If you go a little bit past the train tracks, my apartment complex was right here. Literally, it was train tracks, a light, through the lights, and right here. We would turn in. I was like, are you kidding me? So he pulls us over, and I'm trying to feel around. So I was like, you know what? I can't find it. I was like, if I can't find it, hopefully if he has to check my bag, he can't find it. But we didn't spray the car, no Febreze, no L spray, nothing. It was just raw, and we just smoked, obviously. So we pull over. So Letty rolls her window down, and he's like, has his, flashlight in the car and everything. So he was like, license and registration. He was like, you ran a stop sign or something. There was no stop sign. He literally came out of nowhere, y'all. And that's literally the only way we ever go to my house. So he had to be hiding. And then I used to call it entrapment because where were your lights? There was nobody out there. And then out of nowhere, he just popped up. Like, you was trying to catch somebody. So he was like, well, license and registration. So she gives him her license. He goes back to his car or whatever. Y'all know how it be. He comes back. He's like, oh, where y'all going? And then I'm like, I'm going home. So he was like, oh, do y'all have y'all IDs? So Dom is like, what you need our IDs for? He was like, because it smells like trees. So I'm like, here we go. So he's like, do y'all know it smells like trees? And we're like, yeah, we just finished smoking. He was like, oh, y'all was smoking in the car? Like, y'all was smoking while y'all were driving? And Letty's like, no. She was like, we already smoked. Like, we don't have nothing else. So he's like, oh, okay. So he's like flashing the light down into the ashtray. You don't see nothing. It's literally like small little roaches. So he's like, well, I need all of your IDs. So me and Dom, we open up our wallets or whatever. We give him our IDs. Now he could see my address on there was right where I lived. He's like, oh, you live right there. I'm like, yeah. And he was like, oh, y'all coming from right there? So we like, yeah, we all live like right here. They were just like, we just came back from New York, dropped another friend off, and now we were there taking me home. So at this point, I'm trying to text and stuff, and I'm telling my boo, I'm like, we just got pulled over. He was like, what you mean y'all got pulled over? I'm like, we literally got pulled over. And he's like, do you got any trees on you? I'm like, listen, I'm gonna get with you in a second. He was like, I'm about to be over there, like I'm gonna pull up and I'm gonna just pull, like drive past y'all. And he's like, and then I'm gonna go into your lot and wait for you. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, and he lived literally in the town where I went to high school at. Like, me and him went to the same high school. So he still lived over there. So it was, like I said, the next town over. It was going to take him, what, 10, 15 minutes to get to me. So again, he takes our IDs and he was like, okay, well, because it smells like trees, I'm going to have to call my captain. Now, mind y'all, the cop was black, which irritated me. And I know y'all probably like, oh, that don't matter. It irritated me because, sir, you could just let us go. She didn't run no stop sign. And then you could tell, y'all, once he smelled the trees, he didn't care about the phantom stop sign anymore. He didn't care about it anymore because that's what you initially pulled her over for. You have not mentioned that stop sign. You could have just gave her the ticket for the stop sign and let us go. You don't see nothing in the ashtray, nothing, but you want to get you a live one. You want to have something on your belt. So, okay, let's play that game. So next thing you know, y'all, 3 or 4 cop cars pull up. Like a truck that probably was his captain and like 2 other cars that had just like 2 and 2. So it was like him, he was by himself. You had another one by himself, and you had another cop car that had 2 of them in there, and you had the captain by himself. It was 5 of them. Thankfully, they were all men though. So they have us all get out the car. They all searching the car. So they start searching the car. They're pulling out her looking in her glove compartment. They was like, okay, well, they was like, okay, well, we know that you guys have something in here, so we have to check the car, you know, it's protocol. So we're like, okay. So we're standing there. So Dom is looking at me. She was like, bro, where is your trees? And I can't, like, I want y'all to hear me. But she was like, Dom was like, yo, Yana, where's your trees? Where's your trees? I'm like, I don't know, like, it's in my purse, but, you know. And I was like, girl, if they find it, y'all gonna have to call my dad so he can come get me because I'm going to jail. So, y'all, they are searching everything. But they kept looking at me because I guess they can smell it coming from the back seat. But I'm like, how can y'all really smell it coming from the back seat when we literally just got done smoking? So they all in her car. Now, mind you, the only thing that I love about Letty is that girl's car was always a mess. Not to put your business out there, Letty, but you saved us that night. When I tell y'all her car was a mess, I mean, that girl would have random stuff in her car, like car parts, a crock pot, an air conditioner, a heater, pots, pans, notebooks, comforters, sweatsuits, bags full of clothes, books, pens. She would have random stuff all throughout her car and literally would just move the stuff or stuff it in the trunk so that way people could get in the back seat. But for the most part, if it was just her and Dom, they would just have mad stuff in there, just crazy stuff in there. So they in her glove compartments, they in the back seat pockets, they looking everywhere. They get to my purse, and thank goodness men are stupid. They just are. So they searching all of my purse, but remember I told y'all it fell in the thing. So I'm like, dang, they was shaking my purse. Nothing. They couldn't find nothing. It was just my regular stuff, lip gloss, my wallet, my inhaler, you know, little stuff like that. Nothing crazy. So they looking at me like, oh yeah, it's her. But they didn't have any female officers. Obviously, if they had female officers, they would have been able to search us. But again, I didn't have anything on my person anyway. So they were like, okay, y'all take y'all shoes off. So we like, okay. And I think I had on Uggs. So we take our shoes off. They shake them out, got us literally on the concrete in our socks, y'all, shaking our shoes out. And he was like, okay, well, y'all can put them back on. And now the captain, I guess they had a little conversation. They literally tried to ransack her car. They opened her trunk. Trunk was completely packed and full. They was like, they not about to be pulling all her stuff out. And then on top of that, y'all ain't got no warrant. I don't even think, comment down below. I'm not sure what the Jersey laws are. But y'all can't really, can y'all search people's trunks? Like, I don't know. So they was just like, okay, no. So they just closed the trunk back and they were just like, okay, we just gonna chalk it up and say that they couldn't find nothing. Other cops, captain, they all leave and was like, oh, you know, y'all have a good night, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's protocol. We gotta do this. We like, yeah, whatever. my whole drunk high, everything was blown. And at this point, it probably was like a good, like they had us out there literally off for like 45 minutes, like in the cold doing this. So the other cops leave, and now the black cop that was there, he had already gave me and Dom back our IDs, but he never gave Lady back her ID. So I guess he says bye to them or whatever, and I think he really thought that he was going to make an example out of us. And it's like, okay. So he was like, y'all be safe, take y'all time. He was like, I really could have got y'all for those roaches. So Dom was like, yeah, I mean, if you really wanted to, you could have. Your captain could have, but he didn't, because we don't got nothing else on us. Because if I'm not mistaken, y'all really, they gotta have like something that's, I guess, high enough in quantity for us to be able to sell. Like, I'm pretty sure an eighth they would have been able to do something, an eighth, a quarter, a half, an ounce, obviously. But those little roaches, y'all not about to take all three of us in there for no little roaches. Like, come on. So he was like, yeah, I really could have got y'all for that. And we like, yeah, whatever. Can we go now? And he was like, yeah, y'all have a good night. Y'all have a good night. Tapping on the top of her car. So we pull off, right? We pull off and we pull off and we get into my lot. We all just sit in silence for a second. And then my boo was parked in his car. He had his lights on just like in the front of my lot or whatever. So we get out the car and, we all laughing, we talking, because like I said, they know him. So we all laughing, we talking, and Dom is like, bro, where is your tree? So I dig in my purse and I was like, right here. They all start laughing. So they like, y'all trying to smoke right now? So then we like, yeah, we might as well like just hotbox the four of us in the car and just kick it so we could just chill. And I was like, after we done, me and my boo, we gonna go off and do our own thing. So that was the plan. So next thing you know, Letty's like, wait, where's my license? So we like, can't give it back to you. She was like, no. She was like, bro, are you serious? Are you serious? So her and Dom, they get back in the car real fast and they drive back over to him, and he was still parked over there. So she was like, you didn't give me my ID or whatever. So he gives her back her ID. We see them pull back in, and like literally the front of the lot, you can literally see his lights still on. And I really think he was mad, y'all, because he thought he had him a live one. So they come back, we get back in her car. He gets in the back seat, turns his car off. We sit in the back seat. We all vibing. We chilling. We telling him the events of the night about Wanda and everything like that. And y'all, we just smoked. We vibed. We chilled. At that point, my whole night, like, I was just irritated because what? Like, that night could have just went so much worse. Like, that event, I should say, could have just went so much worse than it did. That was really God looking out for me, because I do not know how they didn't find it. Especially when they was shaking my bag, they couldn't find it. And I'm like, it could have just popped out. But I guess, like, it was ripped. But you know how, like, the thread be stringy? I guess it couldn't. Like, you really had to dig in there and, like, feel for it to pull it out. And I was like, thank God for Betsy Johnson and her ripped slits in the purse. So, like I said, we smoke or whatever. And then we say our goodbyes. So Letty and Dom, they leave back, but they were like, we're going to take the long way. So they sprayed the car down, obviously, of course, and they didn't go back to the left. They made a right and went all the way around the long way. So I was like, okay, cool. So me and him, we get in the car and, we go off and do our own thing. And I think I'm thinking about starting like a little, like a exclusive, like, membership. Let me know what y'all think. I think I'm going to do exclusive membership so I can give y'all spicier story times, because my night didn't end there because it was more drama, but that's not for regular YouTube. So let me know if y'all want an exclusive and I can start giving y'all like spicier story times or whatever. But yeah, y'all, that was pretty much that. Like I said, me and him went off, we did our own thing. Letty and Wanda, they didn't talk for like 2 weeks or whatever, but then she was back around, we was back linking, back hanging out, and we was back going back and forth. But yeah, y'all, that was the end of that crazy wild night. I ended up spending the night with Lil Boo, and then he took me home in the morning, and the rest was history. So comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Like, repost, reshare. I appreciate y'all, and I will see y'all in my next video. Peace. Hi.